You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. My name is Nicholas Callis. NL East Baseball coming up for you. It's the Philadelphia Phillies and the Miami Marlins playing here at Marlins Park. The Phillies in second place in the NL East and the Marlins are in third. Game 3 of a 3-game series coming up right now. Pablo Lopez on the mound for the Marlins. 5-3 in 12 starts, 3.86 ERA. He also has recorded one shutout this season, one complete game shutout. And this is a good pitchers matchup in this game tonight. Aaron Nola on the bump for the Phillies, but Pablo Lopez starting for the Marlins.
Leading off tonight for Philadelphia.
Here's Gene Segura coming in, 265 average, entering play. Also has went deep 4 times. First pitch is outside, and that's how the game begins. So as mentioned, the Marlins third in the NL East behind the Phillies. These are two very good teams this year. The Marlins have made a complete U-turn from last season. The Marlins finished with the worst record in baseball last year. Or the worst record in the National League, I should say. That's rounded to short. Rojas plays it. That's out number 1. Segura grounds out. That's how the ball game begins. And with that, here's the starting lineup for the Marlins, or excuse me, for the Phillies. Didi Gregorius, one of the newer names on this team, but everybody else is a familiar face. And that'll bring up Andrew McCutchen, 303 average with 4 home runs entering play. McCutchen's still one of the best players in baseball at getting on base. One of the reasons he's at the top of this order. Former most valuable player in the National League, goes back in 2013. He won that with the Pittsburgh Pirates, where he played the prime of his career.
Yep, that ball went out.
Not as much of a power threat as he once was, and has slowed down a bit. His fielding has also digressed, but there's one thing that he has been a specialist at in his career, and that is getting on base. That still holds true. Counts 2-1. Well, there's the umpiring crew, and if you didn't know this, well, none of those umpires are real people. But they are to us in this game. 2-1 pitch. That's a strike, counts even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. McCutchen in his career has played for the Pirates, the Giants, the Yankees, and now the Phillies. He signed a 3-year, $50 million contract with the Phillies in the 2018-19 offseason. The biggest contract he's received. It was the first time he went into free agency as well. Caught at shortstop by Rojas. That's out number 2. But he's in year 2 of a contract, fresh off an injury. Putting up good numbers. Swung a good bat there, just lined out. So now with 2 outs, that'll bring up Bryce Harper. Harper, another former National League most valuable player. He won it with the Nationals in 2015. Signed the biggest free agent contract in the history of Major League Baseball. 13-year, $330 million contract with the Phillies. He signed that in the 2018-19 offseason. The Phillies had a great offseason. They had a great winter. They brought in so many prominent players through trades and free agency. And on paper, they were the best team in the National League, if not maybe even in baseball. But last season, they broke even, 81-81. Finished 4th in the NL East in front of these Marlins. That's up high, counts 2-0. And the East was very competitive last season. The Mets were making a playoff push. The Nationals got a wild card spot, and the Braves won the division. But all really good teams, and this year, it's even more competitive. The Mets have been at the bottom of this division most of the year, but every team has been in contention, really, other than the Mets this year. The Marlins were in first place at one point, so were the Phillies. The Nationals are in first place now. But several good teams in this division this year. Swing and a miss. Cervelli throws to Aguilar. The top of the first inning is over. The Phillies go down 1-2-3. After a half inning, it's the Phillies 0 and the Marlins coming to bat. Well, here's Aaron Nola on the mound for the Phillies in this one. 6-4 in 12 starts. So he's gotten 2 no decisions. So has a 2.94 ERA. That's one of the best earned run averages in baseball. That ERA is good for 8th best in the National League. Aaron Nola also... Well, he doesn't have the lowest ERA on the Phillies. He has the 2nd lowest ERA behind Zach Wheeler, whose earned run average is a 2.39.
Nope.
And there's only one pitcher in baseball, or one pitcher in the National League more specifically, that has an ERA under 2, and that's Walker Buehler of the Dodgers. But here's Jonathan Villar. He is partially carrying this Marlins team. His statistics have been beefed up most recently. Villar's 2nd in the National League in batting average with a .355 average. He's 1st in hits with 93. He also has the most at-bats in the National League. He has 31 doubles, good for the National League best, as that's fouled off. 1st in triples with 7. 2nd in stolen bases with 19. 7th in on-base percentage. He has a .403 on-base percentage. 5th best slugging percentage in the NL and 5th best OPS, .998. He was acquired in a trade with the Orioles in the offseason. Switch hitter batting from the left side. Swing and a miss. Aaron Nola sets him down. That's how the Marlins offensive half of the first starts. Elevated that fastball, was in the strike zone too. Villar must not have been looking for it because he was a bit late.
Anderson.
Here's Brian Anderson, arguably the franchise face of this Marlins team. He was a player that developed during the rebuilding stages of the Marlins franchise. A versatile player, but starting this game at third base. One ball, no strike pitch. Swing and a miss, the count's even 1-1. Anderson at .250 average entering play. He takes ball 2. Mishandled by Real Muto behind the plate. JT Real Muto, a former Miami Marlin. Now doing the catching for the Phillies. 2-1 pitch to Brian Anderson. On the ground right side. There's Segura. He throws to Hoskins. 2 quick outs for Nola in the bottom of the first. And with that, we'll take a look at the starting lineup for the Marlins. And this team got some fresh faces in the offseason. Villar, one of them. Dickerson, another. Aguilar, another. Cervelli, another. There are a few more players that were signed that are on the bench or traded for, but Matt Joyce, one of them. You saw Garrett Cooper back in the lineup. He injured himself in April and was out for about a month, but came off the injured list a couple weeks ago, and he's starting in right field. But the Marlins pushing some correct buttons. A team that had the worst record in the National League over several seasons. Went on a downturn after 2016. Traded away superstars, quality players. And after spending 2 years in the basement of the NL East, there's some promise. They acquired several quality players. Not too many superstars, but they're back in the running. Out to left center field, there's Jay Bruce. He makes the catch, and the first inning has come to an end. The Marlins go down quickly, 1-2-3, and after one full inning, it's the Phillies 0 and the Marlins 0. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. Top of the second inning rolling around, and the 4, 5, 6 hitters in the Phillies order are due up. It'll be Rhys Hoskins, JT Real Muto, and Didi Gregorius. Hoskins a .244 hitter entering play. Pablo Lopez and Aaron Nola got through the first inning relatively quickly. And there's the first hit of the game for either side. First pitch swinging was Rhys Hoskins. He's running to second. Cooper gets that one into Villar. That's a leadoff double for Rhys Hoskins in the top of the second. And that was Hassan Diaz that got the relay, so correction on that. But he hit that ball against the shift. And not only that, it went right into the corner. Well-placed hit. Here's JT Realmuto, second in the National League for catcher all-star votes. Wilson Contreras in first. Contreras a part of the Cubs. And speaking of the All-Star Game, that will be broadcast here on Major League Baseball's virtual network, both the Home Run Derby and the All-Star Game. So don't worry if you feel like you're missing the real-life Home Run Derby and All-Star Game. Well, this could be a substitute for you. We'll let you enjoy that, and we'll make announcements about who made what team when that time comes. But just know that we'll have it. 1-1, Pablo Lopez on the mound. JT Realmuto, former Miami Marlin. He was their starting catcher for a few years. Ended up getting traded in the 2018-19 offseason. He was one of the best catchers in baseball, but really blossomed last year with the Phillies. And he had a good year despite the Phillies' overall finish. 2-2 pitch. In the air towards center, there's Jonathan Villar. He makes the catch. Hoskins stays right at second base. One out, top of the second. Here's the starting defense for the Marlins. And again, a new look, and that's defensively as well. They have a whole new lineup and a whole new look on defense. Dickerson in left, Villar in center, Cooper in right, Anderson at third, Rojas in short, Diaz at second, Aguilar at first, and Cervelli behind the plate. Here comes Didi Gregorius to the plate. He goes hand in hand with new manager Joe Girardi. They both signed with the Phillies in the offseason. Joe Girardi managing the Phillies for the first time. Didi Gregorius in his first year with the Phillies. Both Girardi and Gregorius were members of the Yankees at one point in time. Girardi not only a player with the Yankees, but also a manager over the recent seasons. That's into center. Gregorius has a hit. Hoskins stopped at third. Gregorius content with a single. Runners on the corners with one out. Now just watch this pitch again. That was over the outside part of the plate. Gregorius even reached out for it, but he squared it up, got the right part of the bat on the ball, hit it hard up the middle, and now the Phillies in a position to score. Here's Jay Bruce. He takes ball one. Bruce, a .236 hitter, 5 home runs and 22 RBIs. He's still a quality power hitter. He's a feared bat in the order. Adam Hazley was the starting center fielder of the Phillies, but he got hurt, so Bruce now playing center. Rojas to Diaz to Aguilar, double play. The run doesn't score from third, and the Marlins escape trouble. No runs on 2 hits for the no runs on 2 hits for the Phillies. And 1 runner left on base after an inning and a half. No score at Marlins Park. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network, brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicholas Callis. 4, 5, 6 hitters due up for the Marlins in this half inning. Jesus Aguilar, Garrett Cooper, and Francisco Cervelli. Jesus Aguilar had a breakout season with the Milwaukee Brewers in 2018. He was their starting first baseman. Had a decline in production in 2019, was traded to the Rays. And the Marlins claimed him off waivers. Now, his production hasn't been great this season, but it's that veteran presence, that power bat in the middle of the lineup that the Marlins were looking for. And the Marlins will take any name or any quality production that they can get. Especially after their last couple of seasons. This is where their rebuilding should be coming to fruition, and they made moves in the offseason that reflected that. Aguilar being signed, Francisco Cervelli being signed, Corey Dickerson being signed. Aguilar claimed off waivers. Villar traded for. Matt Joyce signed. A lot of new pieces to this team, and so far they're having success. They're competing in a tough division, and that's very important. They're not in last place anymore. 3-2 pitch. That's inside. That's ball 4. Leadoff base runner on for the Marlins in the bottom of the second.
Batting fifth, the right fielder, Garrett.
Here comes Garrett Cooper. Cooper, a .275 hitter, 3 home runs and 13 RBIs, though he hasn't played much this season, as mentioned before. He got injured in the month of April, spent about a month on the injured list, but now he's back and playing right field. Cooper started his career in 2017 as a first baseman with the Yankees. Since being in Miami, though, he's transitioned to the outfield, and he's been a right fielder consistently. Gregorius to Segura, and there it goes into the stands.
Batting sixth, the catcher, Francisco.
So there's a good flip by Gregorius, but Segura just let go of this ball. Too much on it, and souvenir for somebody lucky in the stands. So 1 out runner on second base, and here's Francisco Cervelli. So if you're scoring that last play, by the way, that is a fielder's choice. That's how Cooper got on, but he advances to second on what is an error. So that's a 1-base error, just 1 error committed by Segura on that play. Now here is Cervelli. Runner in scoring position, 1 out, and that ball hit in the air to left. McCutchen running back toward the wall, and he makes the catch. And Cooper will try to tag, and he successfully gets to third base. So a slightly productive out. Cooper still in scoring position, but now at third base, and with 2 outs, here's Isan Diaz. Diaz, a .280 hitter with 12 home runs and 36 RBIs, playing second base in this game. Made his Major League debut last season, in the middle of the season. And performed well enough to get the starting job this year. And so far, he's putting up decent numbers for a young infielder. He has 12 home runs, which is good for third on the Marlins. Nothing in 1 pitch. That's inside, counts even 1-1. It's outside, counts 2-1. Pablo Lopez escaped danger in the top of the second. Aaron trying to do the same here in the bottom of the second. Inside, counts 3-1. Miguel Rojas would bat next. 3-1 coming. In the air. Foul territory. Real Muto under it. Now it's in fair territory, but he makes the catch. Second inning over. The Marlins, no runs on a hit. And 1 runner left on base. Excuse me, no runs, no hits, 1 walk. 1 runner left on after 2 full innings. Still no score.
Leading off for the Phillies.
8-9-1 hitters do it for the Phillies in the third inning. Scott Kingery, Aaron Nola, and Gene Segura. That's fouled off, the count 0-1. Pablo Lopez and Aaron Nola pitching very efficiently in their first 2 innings. Lopez entering this third inning under 30 pitches. Here comes number 25. On the ground left side, that's going to get through for a base hit. Brian Anderson was playing in. Might have been expecting a bunt, but that allows Kingery to sneak one through, and he's on base with a leadoff single. Wasn't a bad pitch. It was dropping toward the lower part of the zone, and Lopez got a ground ball. It's typically what you induce when you throw low in the zone, but this wasn't a fielder there. Now here's Aaron Nola in a bunting situation, and he does try to put one down, but it's in the air, and Aguilar catches it. That's out number 1. So not a productive bunt, no sacrifice for Nola. Scott Kingery still on first, and Gene Segura coming to the plate. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network, brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicholas Callis. This is our second of 3 featured games on this network. We guaranteed 3 Major League Baseball simulations every day. Dickerson makes the catch. So after the leadoff single, Lopez induces 2 quick outs. And with that, Andrew McCutchen will come to the plate. McCutchen 0 for 1. His average has dropped to .302. On base percentage is .383. Scott Kingery on first, 2 outs, top of the third. And that's ball 1. McCutchen wearing the number 22. He wore that in Pittsburgh. He wore it in San Francisco. And the only time he couldn't wear the number 22 was when he played for the Yankees. Jacoby Ellsbury was still on the roster. And Ellsbury is wearing number 22. So McCutchen couldn't have it. He wore 26 in New York. That's fouled off the count, 2-1. Andrew McCutchen, a former Most Valuable Player Award winner, former Silver Slugger Award winner for outfielders, former Gold Glover in center. Has had quite the career. Most of his accolades were acquired when he was with the Pirates. McCutchen was the face of that franchise and was known as one of the many quality players on that team that turned around the Pirates and allowed them to make playoffs and have a winning season for the first time since 1992. And he's on base there, his first hit of the game. That moves Kingery to second. So 2 on with 2 out for the Phillies, and that'll bring up Bryce Harper. Harper 0 for 1 in this one. He struck out against Lopez in the first inning. And he's batting for the second time in this game here in the third. Harper, a .246 hitter. I'm almost certain that the Phillies didn't sign him, though, because he hits for average. He puts fans in the seats by hitting some of the longest home runs you'll ever see. He's got quite the powerful bat, has a powerful swing, produces runs. And I'd say more often than not comes through in the clutch. He's a dangerous bat to have in your lineup, and a bat that other teams fear. More or less, that's why he got the largest free agent contract in baseball history. 3-1's the count. Not too much relief on deck. Rhys Hoskins, the cleanup hitter, due up next. 3-1 pitch. Outside ball 4. The bases are loaded. Kingery now on third, McCutchen on second. Harper on first. 2 outs, top of the third. Rhys Hoskins will come up to the plate. Hoskins, a very powerful hitter. He's 4 for 10 in the series, has an RBI and 2 doubles. The second double he hit in this series was in the second. This is game 3 of a 3-game series. These two teams from the NL East. And this is the rubber match. The Phillies won game 1 on Tuesday, and the Marlins won yesterday. At a pivotal point in this game, it's still early, but bases are loaded and there are 2 outs. Popped up. On the infield, there's Diaz. He makes the catch. And the Marlins escape danger. The Phillies leave the bases loaded. After 2.5 innings, still no score at Marlins Park. We'll go to the bottom of the third. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. This game brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicholas Callis. 8-9-1 hitters due up in the Marlins order: Miguel Rojas, Pablo Lopez, and Jonathan Villar. Rojas started his career with the Los Angeles Dodgers, played a year there. Played for the Marlins for the first time in 2015, and he's been an on and off shortstop for them. Great defender, not a consistent bat. But this year, batting higher than expected. .288 hitter entering play. He was also one of the first Marlins to hit a home run this season. 1-1 pitch. Check swing, but the home plate umpire says he committed. The count's 1-2. Rojas entering play is a .288 hitter with 5 home runs and 17 RBIs. He's 4th on the team in batting average. Ground ball foul, the count 1-2. The top three hitters on the Marlins are batting over 300. VR has the highest average with 355 average. Harold Ramirez batting 330. And Corey Dickerson batting 316. Rojas strikes out in that at bat. Nola gets his second strikeout, and with one out, Pablo Lopez is coming to the plate. Lopez, the pitcher on the Marlins, has a 208 average this season. He's got a few hits. Also has driven in a run. Sharp ground ball played by Gregorius at short. And he throws to Hoskins at first, and Lopez is out. There are now 2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And the top of the order rolls around for the Marlins. It's Jonathan Villar. Villar struck out in the 1st inning. His average went down a point. It's at 354 now. Still has an on-base percentage over 400. 2 outs, base is empty for the Marlins. And that's strike 1. Villar, a former Houston Astro, Milwaukee Brewer, and Baltimore Oriole. Been around a few teams. He's also a versatile player. When he was with the Brewers and the Orioles, he primarily played the middle infield, so shortstop and second base, but the Marlins using him in the outfield. He's starting this game in center, and the majority of the games he started this year have been in center field. That's fouled off. The count's still 1-2. Nola got away with a hanging breaking ball. 1-ball, 2-strike pitch. Got him to chase. VR strikes out for the 2nd time in this game. And the bottom of the 3rd inning is over. The Marlins, no runs on no hits, and they leave nobody on base after 3 full innings. Still no score at Marlins Park. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. I'm Nicholas Callis. 5, 6, 7 hitters in the Marlins, or in the Phillies order, due up. JT Realmuto, Didi Gregorius, and Jay Bruce. Realmuto 0 for 1 against Pablo Lopez. Realmuto, a Gold Glove Award winner in 2019 at the catcher position. He's caught Pablo Lopez before. He's caught a lot of these pitchers on the Marlins team. Aguilar makes the play. That's out number 1. That's how the 4th inning begins.
The batter, the shortstop, Didi Gregorius.
Well, here's some minor league reports. And on the win surge, Magneuris Sierra, 778 average in his last 10 games. Also went deep once and had 5 RBIs. The Marlins do have a bright future. They do have some top prospects in Major League Baseball. And they've got a healthy mix of veteran players and prospects on their Major League roster now. Isan Diaz, Harold Ramirez, a couple of the younger talented players. And then you have veterans on the team like Corey Dickerson, Francisco Cervelli, Jonathan Villar, Jesus Aguilar. And it's all melding together for them. They're not one of the top teams in the National League. They're not one of the top teams in the National League, but they are a quality team, and they are competing in the National League East, and that's the most important part. Either fend for a wild card spot or stay toward the top of your division. Dickerson gets it in, but Gregorius makes it into second base with a 1-out double. That's his 2nd hit of the game. Well, the infield shifted him, and he hit it right against the shift, where the third base position is typically played, and he hustles himself to a double. 1 out, top of the 4th inning. Here's Jay Bruce. Bruce broke out with the Cincinnati Reds a little over 10 years ago. He's played for a few other teams in his career, the New York Mets, the Cleveland Indians. But now he's here with the Phillies. And he wasn't a starter at first, but Adam Hazley got injured, so the Phillies had to get creative with their outfield. They elected to put Bruce out there in center. Still been hitting well, and he hasn't had any defensive troubles. He's not the best defensive center fielder, but he's been getting the job done. And he's been a valuable bat in this Phillies lineup. 2 outs. Pablo Lopez racks up another strikeout, his second of the game. 2 outs, top of the 4th inning. That'll bring up Scott Kingery. Kingery, the third baseman of the Phillies, and Kingery is 1 for 1. He singled in the 3rd inning. Facing Pablo Lopez for the 2nd time this game. Kingery, naturally a shortstop. Played on the bench for the Phillies for a couple seasons, but Michael Franco was let go in free agency. He's now playing for the Royals, but Kingery had a spot opened up for him, and now he's the third baseman. And the rest of the Phillies infield includes Gregorius at short and Segura at second. Kingery strikes out looking there. Lopez gets his 3rd strikeout, and he leaves a runner on in the top of the 4th. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. I'm Nicholas Callis.
The third baseman.
This game brought to you by MLB The Show 20. 2, 3, 4 hitters due up in the Marlins order. Brian Anderson to lead off. Then it'll be Corey Dickerson and Jesus Aguilar. Ground ball on the first pitch. Kingery plays it. Throws to Rhys Hoskins. That's 1 out in the bottom of the 4th. So 1 pitch out for Aaron Nola. He and Pablo Lopez have almost been matching each other pitch for pitch. They haven't let up any runs yet, but both of them have gotten into some minor trouble in this game, but have escaped it. Now here's Corey Dickerson. Dickerson 0 for 1. He takes ball 1 upstairs. Dickerson's second on the Marlins with 72. Of course, Jonathan Villar has the most hits on the Marlins and has the most hits in the National League with 93. Dickerson, a former Colorado Rocky, also played for the Tampa Bay Rays and Pittsburgh Pirates, and he most recently played for the Phillies. He spent the second half of 2019 in Philadelphia. Now playing for one of their division rivals, the Marlins. Counts even 2-2. Phillies are still doing better than the Marlins this season in terms of their records. The Phillies are in 2nd place in the division. The Marlins are in 3rd place. Dickerson into right field. Harper plays it. That'll be a single for the Marlins left fielder. And we'll take a look at the hits leaders in the National League. You see Corey Dickerson entering play was at 72. He's now at 73 after that hit. And Jonathan Villar, we talked about the other Marlin who has a bundle of hits. He leads all of the National League with 93. Here's Jesus Aguilar. He walked in his previous plate appearance, batting for the 2nd time against Nola, and he takes ball 1. Aguilar formerly played for the Cleveland Indians, Milwaukee Brewers, and Tampa Bay Rays, helping out a Marlins team that needs some veteran presence. Fouled off the count, even 1-1. Aguilar became a valuable player when he went to the Brewers. It's really where he broke out and made headlines for how dangerous his bat was. He had over 30 home runs in 2018. He talked about his decline in production in 2019, where he was traded to the Rays. He was on their playoff roster, then got claimed off waivers by the Marlins coming into this season. Now he's their starting first baseman and been a consistent middle-of-the-order bat. Counts full 3-2. Garrett Cooper's on deck. It's Corey Dickerson on first. Brian Anderson grounded out on the first pitch of this half inning. Payoff pitch. Fouled away, and we'll do it again. Counts full 3-2. Ooh, got him to chase. That pitch was well out of the zone. But Nola now with 4 strikeouts, and here's our pitch beat comparison, sponsored by Tops, and they're both throwing toward the high 90s. Nola 96 miles per hour, Lopez 97. Hard throwers, and so far they're throwing shutouts. 2 outs, bottom of the 4th. Here's Garrett Cooper. Cooper is 0 for 1. In the air out toward right field. Catch made by Bryce Harper in the 4th inning has come to an end. Still no score here at Marlins Park. No runs on a hit and 1 left on for the Marlins. Going to the 5th. 0-0 is the score. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. This game brought to you by MLB The Show 20. And I didn't think we'd see Heidi Watney in this one, but there she is. Very nice lady. She just seems to have laryngitis whenever I'm on the air, so we won't hear from her, but you'll be seeing the Phillies bats in this half inning. Aaron Nola, the number 9 hitter, then back to the top. Gene Segura and Andrew McCutchen will bat 2nd and 3rd in this inning. So both Aaron Nola and Pablo Lopez on this season, both the starting pitchers of this game, they've each thrown 1 complete game shutout this year. There are only 3 other pitchers in the National League that have thrown more than 1 complete game shutout. Walker Buehler and Zach Wheeler, also of the Phillies, has 2, and Jacob deGrom of the Mets has 3 complete game shutouts this year. Walker Buehler, the only pitcher on that list who's not in the National League East, he's in the NL West. But there are several pitchers from the East that have at least 1 complete game shutout. That's into center field, a leadoff single for Aaron Nola. He gets a hit off his pitching counterpart.
Now batting, second base.
But all the NL East pitchers that have at least 1 complete game this season, 1 complete game shutout this season. Jacob deGrom has 3. Zach Wheeler has 2. Sandy Alcantara, Pablo Lopez, Aaron Nola, Zach Eflin, they all have 1. That's 6 NL East pitchers with at least 1 complete game shutout this year. In the dirt. That gets away from Cervelli. He'll try to throw Nola out, but that's not going to be in time. That'll be scored a wild pitch. Pablo Lopez responsible for throwing that. Cervelli tried to keep his body in front of it, but couldn't help it. So now 2-0's the count on Gene Segura. And Aaron Nola's on second base. That's outside, counts 3-0. Andrew McCutchen on deck. That's strike 1. Lopez gets on the board. Segura's been around the major leagues in terms of the teams he's played for. He's been a part of the Milwaukee Brewers, Arizona Diamondbacks, played for the Seattle Mariners. Now he's a part of the Phillies. He started as a shortstop for this team, but with the Phillies signing Didi Gregorius this offseason, he's transitioned back to second base. Strike 3 called. A well-placed pitch by Pablo Lopez. Caught the top of the zone. Segura doesn't agree. Let's see what you think. Here's the replay. So 1 out. Here's Andrew McCutchen. McCutchen singled in his last at bat against Lopez. Now he's batting with a runner in scoring position. And 1 out. McCutchen has 21 runs batted in this season. Slugging .495. Has an on-base percentage close to 400, and his average is just over 300. He falls behind quickly 0-2. He's a .382 hitter with runners in scoring position. That's just this season. In the dirt, counts 1-2. A well-placed changeup by Lopez. That was a bait pitch. Changeup like that starts at the knees and then descends toward the ground. But McCutchen exercised quality discipline. And after taking that pitch that almost hit him, that evens the count 2-2. Aaron Nola led this inning off with a single, and he advanced to second on a wild pitch in the previous at-bat that Gene Segura had. So now he's in scoring position for Andrew McCutchen, who has a 2-2 count. Top of the fifth inning, no score. This is an NL East matchup. Swing and a miss. Crucial strikeout for Pablo Lopez. That was his fifth of the game. Now with 2 outs, he'll have to get through Bryce Harper. McCutchen couldn't help himself. Started out looking like a high outside pitch, but then the break on the curveball made it tail outside. And he took the bait. There's a base open in this situation. Runner in scoring position, 2 outs. Bryce Harper at the plate. Reached base once on a walk in the third, got out in the first. He struck out in his first at bat. Facing Pablo Lopez for the third time in this game. 1-0 pitch. Down low, counts 2-0. Again, there's a base open, but not an easy part of this Phillies order coming up. Even if you work around Harper, Rhys Hoskins is on deck. JT Realmuto in the hole. Hitters count for Harper. 2-ball, no strike pitch. That's a strike, counts 2-1. Harper made his Major League debut in 2012. Played for the Nationals for 9 seasons. He's in his second year now with the Phillies. Former National League MVP. Pretty good defensive outfielder. Highest paid player in terms of free agent contracts in Major League Baseball history. 13-year, $330 million deal. Full count pitch. Got him to swing and miss. A clutch pitch there from Pablo Lopez. It was well placed, and Harper couldn't hit it. He strikes out for the second time. No runs on a hit for the Phillies, and 1 runner left on base. Just about halfway through this one, no score at Marlins Park. So Heidi Watney's going to come on the screen again, and while her lips just move, I'm going to tell you that this is Major League Baseball's virtual network. This game is brought to you by MLB The Show 20, and my name's Nicholas Callis. If you're looking for more action from us here at MLB Virtual Network, you can subscribe to the YouTube channel. MLB Virtual Network is the name. You get notifications on when we go live and when we post updates. Also, you can follow our Twitter page at VirtualMLB is the handle, where announcements are made such as transaction updates, injury updates, trade updates, and all the videos that we post on YouTube, we also post to Twitter, so you can check us out there. Again, the handle at VirtualMLB. And for those of you that are watching and might not know what a results and standings update is, what we're doing on MLB Virtual Network is, even though we might not feature every team every day, we try to recap scores for you, give you the standings after every day, and announce who the league leaders are, the top 10 in the league, who those are at the end of every day. So you can check those out if you're looking for something to follow. And that's what this network really is, just something to replace baseball at the moment. But giving attention to every team is what we're trying to do. Cervelli went deep there. It was caught by Jay Bruce. That's out number 1.
Second baseman.
Take a look at team earned run average leaders. Phillies. They're right behind the Dodgers. The Phillies in second place with a 3.29 team ERA. The Dodgers close to 3. Close to getting under 3. Here's Hassan Diaz. He's 0 for 1. But back to our results and standings updates. So we update you on all the scores of every game at the end of every day. We update standings at the end of every day so you know where your team stands, or where the entire league stands for that matter, as well as wildcard standings. We just started doing that since enough games have been recorded now, so the wildcard standings actually matter. And league leaders, you can see who the best players in the league are, or who's doing the best in every category that we have in this game. So this is a network not about one team, or this isn't a network just to throw on games and just have you watch them. The idea of this channel is to do the best we can at replacing baseball. Now, we know we can't achieve that, But the idea is to just give you something to be able to follow, give you something to be able to enjoy that's related to baseball. And not to mention, we guarantee 3 games every day, and some of those games have live commentary. Swing and a miss, that's out number 2, Diaz down. So we're not just throwing Matt Vasgersian, Mark DeRosa, and Dan Plesac at you. Sometimes I'm on the air, and you can talk to me in the live chat, and you can get intelligent and up-to-date commentary. Not that those recordings aren't good, but we're trying to keep you involved, and we're trying to keep something new and fresh in there because we care about you guys as much as we care about baseball. And we don't just want to throw games at you to get subscribers and for you to just consume something. The idea of this is for everybody to be able to enjoy baseball, to have something to follow, and to use your imagination while we're living in such an unfortunate time. That's Gregorius, the shortstop. He makes the play. And the 5th inning is over. The Marlins go down 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 5th inning. So after 5 full innings, there's still no score. We'll go to the 6th. So this is Major League Baseball's virtual network. This game brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicholas Callis. Rhys Hoskins doubled in the 2nd inning. He's batting for the 3rd time in this one. 1 for 2 officially, 4 for 11 in the series now. This is Game 3 of a 3-game series, and this is the rubber match. And so far, it's a pitcher's duel. No score yet. It's fouled off. The count's 0-1. Rhys Hoskins first in the National League. He's walked 41 times this year. In the air out to center field. Villar dives, and he makes the catch. Jonathan Villar with a sparkling play. And he robs Rhys Hoskins of a hit. Watch the extension on this play. Lays out his body, no regards for safety. And nabs the ball in his mitt. 1 out, here's JT Realmuto. Realmuto 0 for 2 in this game. Pablo Lopez still on the mound, as is Aaron Nola. They've both pitched masterfully in this game. A couple of hiccups here and there. A couple of dangerous situations, but both of them have pitched out of those when they've been in them. Otherwise, it's been efficient pitching. Getting outs, sprinkling strikeouts here and there. Working quickly and keeping the opposite team scoreless. 2 quick outs for Pablo Lopez. JT Realmuto just flew out to Garrett Cooper and right. Now here's Didi Gregorius. He's 2 for 2. Technically halfway to the cycle as well. He's got the 2 hardest parts left.
Ball 1, no strike.
And him hitting a home run would break this scoreless tie, which at this point hasn't seemed likely. 2-0 is the count.
No strike.
So we talked about a competitive division that the NL East is. So we'll just go over the standings in the NL East one more time. The Nationals are in first place with a 36-25 record. The Phillies in second place, 33-27. They're 2.5 games back. The Marlins are 33-29, 3.5 games back, as that's popped into the air to right field. The Braves are 31-32, 6 games back, and the Mets are 26-35. They're 10 games back and in last place. VR makes the play. Top of the 6th inning's over. Pablo Lopez works through another scoreless inning, another quick inning as well. Bottom of the 6th coming up. 9-1-2 hitters due up when we come back. No score. Hey, we're back. This is Major League Baseball's virtual network. This game brought to you by MLB The Show 20. And I'm Nicholas Callis. Pablo Lopez, the first one to bat. He'll be followed by Jonathan Villar and Brian Anderson.
Count 1-0.
Well, this is a competitive division. The NL East just went over the standings. This is an NL East matchup. And if the Marlins can win this game, they'll be tied with the Phillies for second place. 2.5 games back of the Nationals. In the air towards center. Jay Bruce under it. Catch made, 1 quick out for Aaron Nola, who's, in terms of pitch count, pitched more efficiently than Lopez has, though they both have yet to give up a run. Some other teams playing who are part of the National League East were playing today. Well, it seems that the Braves have a day off today, but the Mets and Nationals are playing each other. Rick Porcello and Max Scherzer on the mound. That game should be good. Kingery to Hoskins, 2 quick outs for Nola in the bottom of the 6th inning. It's almost seemed like Lopez and Nola have gotten better since this game has gone on. 2 quick outs, Brian Anderson up to the plate. Grounded out a couple times, but the Mets and Nats, 2 other teams in the National League East playing today. There are 10 games around Major League Baseball. There are several off days among players today. 10 teams have an off day today out of 30. Other National League teams playing. The Cubs and Reds are playing today. The Padres and Giants are playing. The Rockies and Dodgers are playing, and that's the game we're featuring at 9:20. It's an NL West matchup. And the Cardinals and Pirates are playing today as well. That's strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bottom of the 6th. Aaron Nola into the wind. That's fouled off. Count still 2-2. Aaron Nola trying to complete 6 scoreless innings. 2-2 pitch. Got him to chase it. It's in fair territory. Hoskins makes the play. And the bottom of the 6th inning is over. The Marlins fail to score or get any hits in that half inning. We're through 6 full. It's the Phillies nothing and the Marlins nothing. We'll go to the 7th. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network, brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicholas Callis. 7, 8, 9 hitters due up for the Phillies. Jay Bruce, Scott Kingery, and then the pitcher's spot. I can't imagine Aaron Nola will get taken out. He's been pitching well, and Pablo Lopez still in the game. He's also been pitching well. Lopez and Nola are both on their way to potentially throwing complete game shutouts. They each have 1 on the season. We already talked about that. But sooner or later, one of them will have to break. One of them will have to cave in. And I don't mean that they're necessarily going to give up runs, but perhaps the bullpen will come into play. Neither of them are throwing a no-hitter, but they're both pitching well. Nola's given up 1 hit and a few other base runners on some walks. Lopez has given up 6 hits, and he's escaped danger twice in this game. Got him swinging. Another strikeout for Pablo Lopez. Cervelli to Aguilar. That completes the strikeout. That's Lopez's 7th strikeout of the game. 1 out, top of the 7th. Here's Scott Kingery. 1 hit and 2 at-bats. He's 3 for 9 in the series. This is the rubber match of a 3-game series. The Phillies won Game 1. The Marlins won Game 2 yesterday. That's strike 1. Inside, counts even 1-1. Inside, counts 2-1. Two ball, 1 strike pitch. That's strike 2. Counts even up 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pablo Lopez in position to get his 8th strikeout of the game. Three and 2's the count. Lopez into the windup. On the ground left side, and that's a foul ball. Across the third base bag in foul territory, so count remains full 3-2. In the air, softly hit center field. Jonathan Villar seems to have a play, and he makes it. Now there are 2 outs in the top of the 7th inning.
Up next for Philadelphia.
So the top of the 7th, 2 outs, and that'll bring up Aaron Nola in the pitcher spot. He has a hit in this game, and he'll bat here. Not too surprised by this move. They will not elect to go to a pinch hitter. Nola still throwing a shutout. A one-hit shutout at that. Grounds that one to the right side on the first pitch. Diaz to Aguilar. Pablo Lopez has thrown 7 scoreless innings. Gets the Phillies to go down 1-2-3 again. Well, it's stretch time here at Marlins Park. No score going into the bottom of the 7th. This is Major League Baseball's virtual network. This game brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicholas Callis. 3, 4, 5 hitters due up in the Marlins order. Corey Dickerson, the first to bat. Jesus Aguilar and Garrett Cooper to follow. That's down low. The count's 1-0. Dickerson is 1 for 2. His only hit was a single. Nola at 75 pitches now. He's been throwing quite efficiently in this one. Pablo Lopez has been throwing a shutout as well, but he's given up 6 hits. Nola's given up just 1. And his pitch count is significantly lower as well. 1-1 pitch. On the ground, left side. There's Gregorius, throws to Hoskins. That's out number 1. That's how the bottom of the 7th begins.
Up next for the Marlins, the first baseman.
Going to bring up Jesus Aguilar. Aguilar walked in the 2nd inning. Getting his 3rd plate appearance in here. Marlins haven't gotten too many chances to hit, and that's because Nola has kept them off base. But the offense hasn't been helping Nola out. That's why the Marlins are still in this game. It's still a tie game, and it's still scoreless. And the same thing can be said for Lopez. Base hit into right field for Jesus Aguilar. He's on base for the 2nd time in this game, but that's his first hit. There's Aaron Nola's scoreline to this point. Just 2 hits given up, 1 walk allowed, 5 strikeouts, short of 80 pitches, and has gone 6 1/3 innings. Here's Garrett Cooper. Flied out, reached base on a fielder's choice. Counts 1-0. Cooper, a former New York Yankee. Since coming to Miami, he's been transitioned to an outfielder, and he's starting this game in right field. 1 ball, no strike pitch. That's outside. Counts 2-0. Well, Nola has seldom let up Marlins base runners, but there's some hope now with the runner on first.
2 balls, 1 strike.
And of the 3 runners that reached base for the Marlins, 2 of them were Jesus Aguilar. He reached once on a walk, and he just got a hit in his last at bat. Soft ground ball, third base. It gets past Kingery and past the third base bag. McCutcheon will play it in left field. Aguilar stops at second. And Cooper's aboard at first with a single. And now the Marlins have something cooking. 2 on, 1 out. And here's Francisco Cervelli. Cervelli is 0 for 2. He flied out a couple times. He's now 2 for 9 in the series. Has a couple home runs in this series and 3 runs batted in total. The Marlins in need of some runs here. Scoreless tie, 2 runners on, 1 out. Now for the Phillies, there's a double play still in order, so Nola has an out at this point, or 2 outs. That's fouled off. The count's 0-1. Francisco Cervelli, former New York Yankee, started his career with them. Had a breakout season with the Pirates in 2015. He's had some injury problems, though, when he was in Pittsburgh. You see Jose Alvarez and Ranger Suarez warming up. The Pirates traded him to the Braves. And then this past offseason, he signed with the Marlins. This is his 4th Major League team. Softly hitting to right. Harper on the run. Harper makes the catch. Well played by Bryce Harper. Cervelli's out, and no advance from either of the runners on base. So 2 outs, bottom of the 7th inning. Here's Isan Diaz. He's 0 for 2. He struck out and popped out in this game. Nola's still not out of hot water yet. A base hit. Could score that run from second base. Aguilar on second. He doesn't run well, though. That pitch hit into right field. Down the line. And that ball is gone. Isan Diaz hits a 3-run home run. That breaks the scoreless tie. The Marlins have the lead. And a lead with some distance behind it. My, oh my. Oh, that flips everything around. Nola came into this inning giving up just 2 base runners. Gave up a couple singles. Got 2 outs, but then Diaz took him deep. 399 feet. And here comes Joe Girardi out of the Phillies dugout. Nola pitched well in this one, but ended up giving up 3 earned runs on 4 hits. And after a masterful pitching performance through 6 innings, the 7th inning comes around to hurt him, and he's in line for the loss. Here's Jose Alvarez. Out of the bullpen, former Detroit Tiger. He has a 2.91 ERA in 24 appearances. This is his 25th appearance of the year.
Ball 1, no strike.
Out to left and foul. The count evens up 1-1. Three runs in for the Marlins in the bottom of the 7th inning. Aguilar singled. Cooper singled. Isan Diaz hit a home run. That's inside. Counts 3-1. And now Jose Alvarez in a mop-up role here. Out to left field. Back goes McCutchen toward the wall. And he plays it off the wall. That's a 2-out double for the Marlins.
The pitcher, number 49.
Miguel Rojas almost went deep. That was inches away from clearing the wall. Right over the middle of the plate, and Rojas took advantage, got it elevated. And Pablo Lopez will come up to hit. He now has a 3-run lead, so looks like the Marlins have given him a longer leash. So he'll bat here, and he might be on his way to earning his 2nd complete game of the season. 2nd complete game shutout, too. Lopez 0 for 2 at the plate in tonight's game. 2 outs, runner in scoring position. So even though Rojas didn't hit a home run, that base hit gets Lopez to the plate. And at the very least, pending a pickoff or Rojas getting thrown out, the Marlins will have the top of the order to start next inning. So a win-win here for the Marlins. And Lopez ahead in the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Two on the count. This has been quite the ball game. Well pitched up till the 7th. Pablo Lopez has pitched 7 scoreless innings. Nola collapsed here in the 7th. Gave up 3 runs on a homer by Isan Diaz. And Pablo Lopez working a count here. It's full 3-2. Jonathan Villar is on deck. Payoff pitch. Got him to swing and miss. And the 7th inning is over. But an inning won by the Marlins. Isan Diaz, right now the hero. After a couple singles, he hit this 3-run home run. And the Marlins have the lead going into the 8th. And Pablo Lopez expected to come out and pitch again. This is Major League Baseball's Virtual Network, brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicholas Callis. The Phillies batting for the first time, and they're down. Let me rephrase that. I phrased that weirdly. The Phillies batting for the first time behind in this game. It was a scoreless tie till that bottom of the 7th. The Marlins put up 3 runs. Now we're here in the 8th. Top of the order due up for the Phillies. Gene Segura, Andrew McCutchen, and Bryce Harper. Gene Segura 0 for 3 at the top of the order. Pablo Lopez, no runs given up to this point. His mound opponent, Aaron Nola, couldn't pitch out of the 7th. Brandon Kitzler is the one on the left. He's the closer of the Marlins, and Adam Conley, left-handed arm on the right. Lined and caught it by Jesus Aguilar at first. That's out number 1. We'll take a look at the starter comparison. It was a heck of a game for both of these pitchers. And give Aaron Nola credit, though he gave up 3 earned runs on 4 hits. He was pitching a one-hitter going into that 7th inning. He struck out 5, walked just 1. So no discredit to him. He pitched in this ball game well. Just that 7th inning bit him. And he's in line for the loss because of it. Strike 1 to Andrew McCutchen, 1 for 3 in this game. Again, Lopez has thrown 1 complete game shutout this year. He's in position to throw his 2nd. And the Marlins now have a good chance of winning this series. This is game 3 of a 3-game series, and this is the rubber match. Hit into left field, and yeah, so much for the complete game shutout. Andrew McCutchen ends that right away. A solo home run for Andrew McCutchen, and the Phillies are on the board. It's 3-1, and now I'm certain that the leash has gotten shorter on Pablo Lopez. It's McCutchen's 5th home run of the season. It's amazing how quickly momentum can change. This place was buzzing with chatter and cheering, and McCutchen nearly silenced these guys. The Marlins are still leading. They've gotten a bit quieter after this. That was a long home run, too. McCutchen typically better at hitting pitches over the outside part of the plate, but this one got in on him. And he turned on it and smacked it out to left. And with that, yeah, Don Mattingly coming out of the dugout. Pablo Lopez is done. 7 1/3 innings pitched. He's in line for the win, and a quality start for him. 1 run on 7 hits. And he departs at the hands of Yimi Garcia. Garcia 3-2 in 27 appearances this year, has an ERA of 2.22. Former Los Angeles Dodger. Still a young pitcher, too. He's been helping out the Marlins bullpen, a very strong right-handed arm.
The batter, the right fielder, Bryce Harper.
That's strike 1. No ball, 1 strike pitch on Bryce Harper. The Phillies still in this game. They can make a turnaround. This game not out of hand. Though it is late. And with every out, the Phillies run out of time. Swing and a miss. That was a challenge fastball to Bryce Harper, and he just swung and missed at it. 95 from Garcia. No ball, 2 strike count. Inside counts 1 and 2. 1-2 pitch. On the ground right side into the shift. There's Diaz. Throws to Aguilar. That's out number 2. It's 2 outs, top of the 8th, and we'll take a look at the score line for Lopez. 1 earned run on 7 hits. Struck out 7 batters through 98 pitches, 7 1/3 innings. Season line for the win. A quality start with the Marlins put them in position to win. Through 7 shutout innings, couldn't get out of the 8th. 2 outs. Here's Rhys Hoskins. And Yimi Garcia pitching well. Got an out of Harper. Now trying to complete the 8th inning, stopping the Phillies at just 1 run. 1 run credited to Andrew McCutchen, who hit a solo home run off Pablo Lopez, and that was the last hitter that Lopez faced in this game. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Swing and a miss, counts 1-2. The Marlins got 3 runs on an Hassan Diaz 3-run home run in the bottom of the 7th off Aaron Nola. That chased him from the game. Both starters out of the game now, and both of them in line to get a decision. Lopez the win and Nola the loss. Got him to chase. Top of the 8th inning is over, but Andrew McCutchen put the Phillies on the board. It's a 2-run game because of this solo home run. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Marlins 3 and the Phillies 1. This is Major League Baseball's virtual network. This game brought to you by MLB The Show 20, and I am Nicholas Callis. Top of the order, do it for the Marlins in the bottom of the 8th. They have a 2-run lead. Jose Alvarez still on the mound. He'll face the top of the Marlins order. Jonathan Villar, Brian Anderson, and Corey Dickerson. Villar, a switch hitter, batting from the right side. This is the first lefty he's faced in this game, and a ground ball to third. Kingery to Hoskins, 1 out, bottom of the 8th. And with that, Brian Anderson will come to the plate.
Third baseman, Brian Anderson.
Anderson is 0 for 3. He grounded out in the 6th inning. He's now 4 for 12 in the series. Also went deep and has 3 RBIs, but he's hitless in 3 at-bats in this game. This is the first time this game he's not facing Aaron Nola. In his career, he's 3 for 5 off Alvarez. No ball, 1 strike pitch. Swing and a miss, count quickly 0-2. Alvarez got the final out of the 7th inning. Now he's pitching here in the 8th. It's outside, counts 1-2. The Marlins got 3 runs in the bottom of the 7th thanks to an Hassan Diaz 3-run home run. In the top of the 8th, Andrew McCutchen hit a solo home run. It's a 2-run game late. Popped up and fouled. The count's still 1-2. Swing and a miss. Got him on an off-speed pitch. And now there are 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. Watch his pitch again. Looked like a changeup. Started over the middle of the plate, but then dropped at his knees. And he was out in front of it. So with 2 outs, here is Corey Dickerson. He singled in the 4th inning, his lone hit of the ball game. Dickerson, a .316 hitter on the season, an on-base percentage of .357, and an OPS of .912. He's been one of the more underrated hitters in baseball. Has always put up great numbers. This is the 5th team he's playing for. Strike 3 called, and the inning is over. The Marlins go down 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 8th, but they have a 2-run lead going into the 9th. Last chance for the Phillies. This is Major League Baseball's virtual network. This game brought to you by MLB The Show 20, and I'm Nicholas Callis. That's Brandon Kinsler. Former Washington National, now the closer of the Marlins. He's appeared in 22 games, has 15 saves and 17 opportunities. He'll face the 5, 6, 7 hitters in the Phillies order. JT Realmuto, Didi Gregorius, and Jay Bruce. It's fouled off, the count 0-1. Kinsler was another signing in this offseason. He's been a decent arm when he was with the Nationals. But on a Marlins team that needs some veterans, he has an opportunity to close. And so far, he's done a rather decent job. He's tied for 8th in the National League in saves with 15. Counts 1-2. He's tied with Josh Hader of the Brewers and Tony Watson of the Giants. And he's right behind Hector Neris, who's a closer for the Phillies. 2-2 is the count. Realmuto hitless in this game. But Kinsler would tie Neris for 7th best in the NL if he can earn his 16th save of the season in this one. So as implied, this is a save opportunity for Kinsler. 3-2. Outside ball 4. And that brings the tying run to the plate for the Phillies.
Up next for Philadelphia.
I'll watch where this pitch was. We'll look at the pitch sequence. A couple of good pitches low and inside. Missed with a breaking ball. Missed with a breaking ball. Missed with a breaking ball. That 5th pitch was borderline, but he didn't get the call. But that's 4 straight breaking balls he missed with. Didn't try to challenge Realmuto. So that'll bring the tying run to the plate. Didi Gregorius has been hot in this one. 2 for 3 with a single and a double. And nobody out, so the Phillies have a strict advantage. Of course, the double play ball is still in order, but in any game, it's important to get that tying run to the plate. Gives you a chance to tie the game with 1 swing. Gregorius has the potential to do that, too. Counts quickly 0-2. Kinsler with 2 good pitches. No balls, 2 strikes. Down low, the count's 1-2. Don Mattingly getting a bit restless. Pablo Lopez at this moment is in line for the win, and Aaron Nola in line for the loss. Marlins looking to win the series in this game. This is game 3 of a 3-game series. The Phillies won on Tuesday. The Marlins won yesterday. This was a well-pitched game until the 7th inning. Each team scored in the 7th and the 8th. That's fouled off, and I correct that statement. The Marlins scored in the 7th and the Phillies scored in the 8th, but there was scoring in the 7th and 8th innings. Phillies with a tying run at the plate. Check swing. Appeal. No swing. Counts full. Fouled off. The count's still full, 3-2. Gregorius extending this at bat. Kinsler, of course, doesn't have the stamina of a starter. So him throwing several pitches, not good for him. That's the 2nd walk of the inning. Back-to-back walks for the Phillies. That puts the tying run on base. Jay Bruce coming to the plate, representing the go-ahead run. Not a good look for the Marlins to begin the 9th inning. Roman Quinn coming off the bench to pinch run. So Roman Quinn pinch runs for Didi Gregorius at first base. There's Jay Bruce. So JT Realmuto's on second. Roman Quinn on first. They both run well. Jay Bruce also an RBI machine, notorious for doing that throughout his career. And has an opportunity to save this game for the Phillies. Counts 0-2. They were down 3 after 7. They scored a run in the 8th. Tying run on first. Go ahead run in the batter's box. Again, Kinsler gets a hitter down 0-2. And he gets the strikeout. The first 2 hitters of this inning went down 0-2 and then worked to count full to get a walk. This time, Kinsler gets him down 0-2 and gets him to chase. So strikeout on 3 pitches of Jay Bruce. That'll bring up Scott Kingery. Kingery is 1 for 3. He singled in the 3rd inning. He's 3 for 10 in the series. Has an RBI, but this is a crucial spot for him to potentially drive in runs. Kinsler working his way up to 20 pitches now. Working hard to earn this save. Kingery falls behind quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. That's the 4th straight hitter now that Kinsler has gotten to 0-2. On the ground and foul. A count of still no balls and 2 strikes. Kinsler way ahead. That's fouled off. Count still 0-2. Don Mattingly might have some thinking to do. Kinsler already over 20 pitches. There's just 1 out in this inning. Got him. That's out number 2. 2 strikeouts for Kinsler. He's thrown several pitches in this inning, but has gotten 2 out, but has let 2 on. First and second, 2 outs, and we'll see who's going to come up to the plate. It's Nick Williams. Nick Williams coming off the bench. He'll pinch hit for the Phillies as their last opportunity to make a comeback. The tying run, and Roman Quinn's on first. JT Realmuto's on second. And that misses outside, counts 1-0. Williams was once a starter on this Phillies team for a couple seasons, most notably in 2017, but with the outfield the Phillies have now, it's hard to be a starter. And you're trying to make a name for yourself. McCutcheon in left, Bruce in center, Harper in right. This isn't a place for Williams to flourish. Ground ball, diving stop by Rojas. Flips to Diaz at second, and a sparkling play ends this ball game. And maybe even saved because Miguel Rojas made that play. The Marlins secure the 3-1 victory. They win it here. They win the rubber match. The Marlins won 2 games in this 3-game series. The Phillies won 1. Now the Marlins are on a 2-game winning streak entering tomorrow. But a well-pitched ball game by both sides. Aaron Nola and Pablo Lopez had shutouts. After 6 innings, Nola gave up 3 runs in the 7th. Lopez gave up a run in the 8th, but the bullpen for the Marlins shut down the Phillies. The Phillies offense was making a bid for a comeback, but could not make a full comeback. And that's how the score has resulted 3-1. Let's take a look. The Marlins improved to 34-29. The Phillies fall to 33-28. Both the Phillies and Marlins are now 2.5 games back of the Nationals for first place, so they're both tied for second place. 2.5 games back they each are. Pablo Lopez earned the win in this one. 7 1/3 innings pitched, gave up 1 run on 7 hits, walked 1 and struck out 7. Aaron Nola pitched well up until the 7th inning, but gave up 2 singles and then a home run to Isan Diaz. And he gets the loss in this one. Brandon Kinsler made it tense, but earned a save, his 16th of the season. He's now tied with Hector Neris for 7th best in the National League among saves leaders. But Diaz hit that 3-run home run in the 7th. That was the only runs that the Marlins scored. And the Phillies got a run in the 8th on an Andrew McCutcheon solo home run. They got 2 runners on in the 9th, but couldn't come back to win it. They also left several runners on base throughout this game. So unfulfilled opportunities lead the Phillies to losing the rubber match. And that'll pretty much do it here from Marlins Park. This NL East matchup is over. This has been a production of Major League Baseball's Virtual Network. This game brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicholas Callis saying so long from Marlins Park. Once again, the final score, the Marlins beat the Phillies 3-1.